God is great. Allahu Akbar. God is great.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is your host, Gabriel Romaani, and we are talking once again about the ideal Muslim family. Now, we are not telling you, brothers and sisters, that we're going to solve your problem in this show on Peace TV here, that this is going to be, that's it. This is your final stop. We're telling you that you are the one who can solve your problems. But there are a few things that we can recommend to you. And this is not our opinion. This is what, bi'idhnillah, we're trying to get from the Prophet ﷺ, from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed to him. And alhamdulillah, I'm joined again today by my dear respected brothers and teachers, Sheikh Salem Al Amry, Sheikh Assim Al Hakeem, and Dr. Ahmed Ibn Saifuddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear Mashaykh, we are talking about a very important topic. This is something, if we could put it on a scale of importance, and it's probably one of the most important. And as we said in our previous shows, that the Muslim family is the building unit of society. And I want us to talk a little bit, if we can, bi'idhnillah, about the importance of the Muslim family for the whole world, for both Muslims and non-Muslims, right? Because we don't want people to think that we're just talking about, okay, Muslim families within, Muslim countries and that's it. We are ignorant of the rest of the world. What is the importance of the healthy Muslim family for the whole world, for the global village? And if we want to start, inshallah, bi'idhnillah, with Sheikh Hassan.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa tada bihudahu, amma ba'd. Probably some of us would think that this is a bit of an offshoot. It's an exaggeration. What would a family in Dhaka or in Vancouver or in Beijing, a Muslim family, do to affect the whole world? Well, actually, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. And never look down at yourself and your potentials. However, when we want to change and solve our problems, it is not us that do this. We have to do it with Allah's grace and help. So just to put this in perspective, we do not change anything. We are not able to do anything without Allah's help. Now, if you look at the Muslim family, a Muslim family is, as you've stated, it's a brick in the whole wall of humanity and of the society. And if this brick is not there, the wall will collapse. Not only that, it can make it or break it, in the sense that if you have a good, reliable Muslim family, this would add value to humanity in all aspects. Being a family that is green, not related to Sheikh Abdurrahim Green, definitely, but I'm talking about being green in the sense that if we raise our children not to abuse the usages of plastics, of littering, of pollution. Imagine the impact the Muslims, which are considered to be like, what, 1/3 of the population of Earth? This would add a lot of value to the whole of the humanity. If we fail to bring our children to understand Islam and to know what Islam truly is, if we fail in doing this and end up having them radicalized, or blowing themselves up, or abusing those who are from a different race or ethnicity. Arrogance would fill their hearts. Ignorance would fill their minds. This is the role of the Muslim family. So, in essence, I think that when we manage to seek Allah's guidance in making a Muslim family, this has a very positive impact
in society at large,
for the whole of humanity.
This reminds me of something, so I'm not sure the authenticity of the hadith, but the meaning, and it's quite authentic, I would say, is that the Muslim is like the rain, right? Wherever he falls, and he brings benefit.
This is authentic.
Right. So, I mean, subhanAllah, Muslims, non-Muslims, as you talked about the environment, right? Because people are like, what does the family have to do with the environment? But subhanAllah, it starts from there, from basic education about recycling, or about not harming the environment, polluting it, and so on. It will leave its impact. And especially if every family is in sync.
Correct.
And if I'm not mistaken, Islam teaches us to take care of this and also to be in sync. SubhanAllah. And this is something very important. So without a doubt, the Muslim family has effect on society at large. And subhanAllah, we live in a global community. You know, Bob and John and Stacy can benefit from Ahmed and Muhammad and Abdullah. You know, they're Muslim neighbors who are, you know, a good family, a good Muslim family. And that can bring numerous benefits.
But this goes both ways.
It goes both ways, no doubt, yeah.
So even Bob and Tracy can benefit the ummah if they abide by Allah's laws.
No.
And they can harm the whole of humanity if they don't. And the Muslim family, likewise, if they don't abide by the Quran, we become monstrous. We become the worst ever to live on earth because we have nothing to hold us back.
No.
This is the beauty of Islam once implemented.
Sheikh Salem, in a previous episode, we talked about the husband and the wife. I mean, this is the first, you know, base of the family, right? And right now, you said that, you know, we gave the example of Bob and Stacy, right? If they themselves do not abide by the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I hope they don't sue us, by the way.
Bob and Stacy are not trade names, inshallah.
Okay.
But in Islam, the issue of nasab is very important, lineage, right? And this seems what one of the keys of our Muslim family, or not just the family at large, is this issue of people not respecting lineage. And it happens at the husband and wife, or partner, let's say, a level, right? How does that impact the family and the Muslim family at large? Any people not respecting these boundaries that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made? Because in the end of the day, the family starts with the husband and the wife.
Jazakallah khair. I'll come back to this point.
Okay.
Okay. So the topic is so vast,
It's very vast,
actually. Yeah. And we are talking about the Muslim family, okay? And we need that Muslim family. We need the Muslim family that has the rida, the contentment, okay? That they are content with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them. The Muslim family that they are role model, okay? So that non-Muslim neighbors look at this Muslim family, wow. Okay, we want to be like them. See, they are so mannered. The children, so disciplined. Okay? The Islam, really, in many places of the world, only traders, merchants went there. But when the people saw the character, the Islamic character, they became Muslims. So in Islam, when the Prophet ﷺ is saying, Wallahi la yu'min, Wallahi la yu'min, Wallahi la yu'min, man bata wa jaruhu ja'i'un wa huwa ya'lam.
Subhan.
He's not a believer, he's not a believer, he's not a believer. Whoever sleeps while knowing his neighbor is
Hungry.
hungry. This is our Islam. The
Sorry
Prophet,
to cut you, but how would he know that he's hungry? He should...
see, you know, the person, okay, his income, okay, you know, he hardly, what he gets can provide him 3 meals a day, or maybe he reaches. He knew about it from different means.
I would say that also it requires some effort from our
You should
side
ask.
to ask,
You
to
should
go
ask.
and know about them.
Exactly, that's part of the right of the neighbor.
Allah.
When the Prophet ﷺ's wives would make a broth soup, we say increase the water,
Increase the water.
so that we can give it to as many neighbors
Allahu
as
Akbar.
Abdullah ibn Umar in Adab al-Mufrad. This is the beauty of Islam. We want to share it with you. We have a lot of things in Islam we can give and share. His neighbor was a Jew, and they slaughtered a goat. Said, never forget my neighbor. Give him part of that. The Prophet ﷺ, in one of his hadith, he said, if you bring gifts for your children, you bring gifts for the children of your neighbor.
Allah.
Otherwise, don't let your children to come out playing with their toys.
Sure. Subhanallah.
This is what we want to share with the people. So imagine that those brothers and sisters, Muslims, families, whether in the West, wherever they are role models, and they are true Muslim families. That is da'wah. Have you called your neighbors for a meal? Yes, for a meal. Yeah, he's not a Muslim, yes, but he is my neighbor.
The point was about the husband and the wife and not respecting, as Sheikh Asim was saying, that even non-Muslims should abide by the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we identified this as one of the reasons for the decay of the Muslim family, is that the relationship between man and woman and not respecting the boundaries of Allah, this influences the family, right?
Because you see, when, as Muslims, it's not utopian.
Right.
Okay? There will be ups and downs in the marital life, and Prophet Muhammad's life is an example. Okay? And we all know the famous story that he left his wives for 1 month. So it's not idealistic. Okay? But there is a reference we refer to it. Okay? We don't cross that border, which is what Allah said, what the Prophet said.
No. So the word ideal is relative, right? We're not talking ideas perfect. And this is something very important that I wanted to bring up, that a lot of people will give up and they'll look for other avenues to improve their family lives because they say, well, Islam is just so, idealistic or something, or they think that it has to be perfect. And as you said, the Prophet ﷺ had problems with his wife, and the first problem husband and wife have, they think, I'm done with this, I cannot do work with this, it's too hard.
See, Akhi, Imam Nasa'i, and this is a beautiful book, Ishrat al-Nisa, how you deal with women. He said one of the Sahaba had a problem with his wife. And he was fed up. So he was looking for help. So he went to Sayyidina Umar. From outside, he heard Umar's wife screaming.
Right.
So he said, hey, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. This is happening in Umar's house.
He turned back.
So he turned back. By then, Sayyidina Umar opened the door. Come, brother, come. Nothing. No, come back. And he told him, he said, listen, Akhi, see how Sayyidina Umar reacted. And he started listing her activities. He said, he cooks for me, he stitches my clothes, he looks after my children, he cleans the house. Listing. If she flares up from time to time, I have to take it. Life is about give and take.
It's such an important
That is it. Very important. We should not be idealistic. He gets angry. Sayyidina Ali, who is better than Fatima radiallahu anha? Sayyidat Nisa Ahl al-Jannah. The lady of all the women in the Jannah. And yet he made Sayyidina Ali angry one day. And the Prophet ﷺ came and said, where is your husband? He said he left.
Allah.
And he was angry.
Allah.
He knew where to find him. He went to the masjid. And Sayyidina Ali slept in the masjid, and he woke him up, and he gave him the kunya, Abu Turab.
Subhanallah. We're going to take a little break. Jazakumullah khair, mashallah. We'll be right back in a few minutes on Peace TV. This is your host, Gabriel Romaani.
God is great.
رمضان المحسنين.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Yusuf Chambers, and I'd like to take this opportunity to wish the viewers of Peace TV Ramadan Mubarak.
A man, a mission, a world-renowned orator on Islam and comparative religion. He dedicated more than 5 decades of his life for dawah. Ahmed Didat.
We Muslims believe that Jesus was the Christ.
This book is an eternal book of guidance for you and for me, for the whole of mankind. It's a solution to the problems of mankind. The miracle is when you expect a man to be dead and he's alive. That's a miracle.
Man with a Mission, every Monday to Thursday at 5:30 p.m. and repeat telecast at 5:30 a.m. India on Peace TV.
Where truth is hidden, misleading quotations create confusion. Where truth is hidden, lack of knowledge and wisdom cause upheaval and commotion. Where truth is hidden, manipulated scriptures and twisted facts emerge. This very hidden truth creates false propaganda, mayhem, chaos, disorder, and turmoil in our lives and the world order. But is there anyone with courage and wisdom? What is the truth, and who has the courage to expose it? Because it's your right to know the truth.
Watch truth prevail and lies perish in Truth Exposed by Dr. Zakir Naik. Next on Peace TV.
God is great.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back. You're watching Peace TV, and we are talking about the ideal Muslim family. And just before the break, we were making the point that ideal is a very relative word. Okay, we're not talking about perfect. We're talking here about perfection as in the standard that the Prophet ﷺ has put. And he is the perfect person that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created. And we saw some examples of the Prophet ﷺ himself having issues with his family and his Sahaba and so on. Dr. Ahmed, when we're talking about the family not being perfect, right? And we said that a lot of people lose hope with Islam and they start looking for help in other places when they have family issues. Why is that not correct? Or what's the limit? Where should people, refer back to when it comes to these issues?
Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man ittaba'a hudah. Amma ba'd, I would say that where to find, in case you get into trouble and you need some advice, where to take the advice. We already touched on that earlier, saying that, yes, you need to reach the scholars, the well-learned people, in order to take guidance, not necessarily to think that they are the best example or they don't have problems, as the story already mentioned by our brother Sheikh Salem regarding Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu and one of the companions. What we need to do is increase the number of people who can give advices, particularly those who are in this social business of, not business in the sense of selling and buying, but rather in this area where people can find someone to turn to. Not every imam would be suitable for this. I hope that everyone who's in the masjid is an imam or someone who is in the media to be a good example for people to turn to, but that may not be the case. However, for those who are wise and knowledgeable and have experience and can deal with families, hopefully they would come to the front and they would offer the help that is needed for Muslim families to look after. I think one important thing is for us as families is to have good communication within the family. Unless we have that communication going on, we may, at one point or another, just everything falls down or breaks down and we will not find any way that we can get things together back again. The important thing is to keep communication, but communication in the right way, not because some people just have this monologue rather than a dialogue. What we need to do is really have a dialogue where they would talk to each other, listen to each other, understand the concerns of one another. Sometimes we don't care, especially men. I'd like to point out to our brothers in particular to be wise enough to listen to their wives, to listen to the women, whether they are daughters, mothers, or aunts, anyone who's a female within the family, because they do have concerns. And just like the example of Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, where he really was exemplary in that sense. He remembered the good things that his wife was doing for him, and you need to forgive. You need to have this sense of forgiveness and sense of openness and accepting some of the shortcomings, because as the Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا كَرِهَ مِنْهَا خُلُقًا رَضِيَ مِنْهَا آخَرٍ. If you don't like something that she would do, then you'd accept another thing. In fact, many things. There are so many good things about women, and particularly women would love to hear something complimentary. They need to hear a good word from their husbands. And the same thing for we as human beings would like to hear good things. So why can't you sweeten your tongue towards your own sweetheart, as Sheikh already gave us the term. Really, I think it would be nice to see that. And the children, by the way, would, once the parents are doing this nice exchange and good communication, they would imitate that, they would take example in that. So that's how we need to improve within the family. And once problems arise, either we can solve it ourselves or take someone within the family. as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you look for someone within the family. يُرِيدَ إِصْلَاحًا يُوَفِّقِ اللَّهُ بَيْنَهُمَا. If they would seek to reconcile their own differences, Allah will give them that reconciliation and they would find help in that.
Yeah, mashallah. We just have about 2 minutes left. I want to pose a question to Sheikh Asim. This is a question actually that came to us from some people outside. We get a lot of emails sometimes. People are involved in our community service and so on. But what if the sweetheart is not so sweet, and you have problems? Do you pretend or force yourself as a family to keep a certain image in the community or not? Or do you just let it to be natural and argue and shout and because it's natural?
First of all, this needs more than 2 minutes,
right.
Unfortunately.
So maybe we'll continue.
And it is not only the sweetheart. It's your spouse. So
right.
It can be from the man, it can be from the woman.
Right.
Bringing it back to your initial question that Islam is too perfect and people tend to give up.
They give up very fast.
It is a human nature. It's a characteristic in almost every one of us. We're professionals in putting obstacles in our ways. So this hinders our progressiveness. We cannot proceed. So what about bringing up your children? It's a corrupt time. There's so much fitna.
Right.
My children are disobedient. Okay, what about connecting to your mom and dad? Oh, they are so arrogant and they're always nagging and grumpy and not happy. Okay, what about trying to fix what's between you and your spouse? And we keep on putting obstacles. Islam is a perfect religion. The imperfection is in us. So if someone tells you, you have a choice. Either accept half the salary you wish for or be jobless. What will you choose? Definitely half of the salary. So if you cannot get this perfect life in your house, akhi, as close as possible to perfection. So now, going back to the 2-minute answer, which I don't think it fits, definitely, as they say in the States, fake it.
Fake it.
If you can't have the real thing, fake it. So, yes, sometimes you cannot be so frank and open. I hate your guts. I don't like you. I don't like your attitude. We will never communicate.
Right.
But you have to compromise. You have to always see the good things. لا يفرق مؤمن مؤمنة, the Prophet said in the hadith.
No.
So you always look at the positive side.
Right.
And akhi, always look at yourself in the mirror and see, am I getting the same reflection that my wife is seeing, or worse or better? I personally believe that whatever my wife is doing to me is far, far greater than what I'm doing for her. So no matter what shortcomings she has, I always look at the bright side. This is how you live a happy life. But to expose yourself and everyone around the house and your friends and relatives know everything about your life story and they can hear and relate, this is not Islamic at all.
It's unwise, we can say that.
It's not wise or not wise. It's un-Islamic because sometimes you have to vent, they say. But is venting here Islamic, or is it backbiting, exposing your life and your family? And would you like her to go and talk about you in a negative way as well? So it's un-Islamic, and this is why we have to go always back to the Muslim ideal house.
MashaAllah. Jazakumullah khair. We ran out of time. MashaAllah. Excellent points. We're going to see you, brothers and sisters, on the next episode. This is your brother Gabriel Romaani. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Season comes and Latina. Season comes and Jalo. Season comes and Latina. Season comes and Jalo.